I've always kind of hated how I look in photos. There's something about being still, being studied, that makes me want to disappear. Which is weird because I'm comfortable making videos, I can film myself all day. But ask me to take a photo, I'll freeze up. And I know I'm not alone in this paradox. Last year, when I learned how to use a mirrorless camera, I set a goal to take a self-portrait once a month. It seemed achievable, even modest. 12 photos across 12 months. How hard could it be? It's been 6 months, and I haven't taken a single self-portrait since I set that goal. The camera's been sitting on my shelf, quietly mocking me. Every time I walk past it, I feel that gut punch of guilt. Another promise to myself broken before it really began. But today, I'm finally doing it. I don't just want a selfie. I want to take a photo that looks like a still from a movie. Like the lighting is perfect, the mood is exactly right, and it looks so intentional and atmospheric that you want to screenshot, print it, frame it, and hang it on the wall. A self-portrait that looks and feels like absolute cinema. I've spent the rest of the day studying film stills on frame set, analyzing how directors use shadow and light to create emotion. I want that kind of intentionality in my own images. My goal is to get at least 3 shots worth sharing, 3 photos that tell a story worth telling. If I can make myself look cinematic in a photo, with mood, story, and intention, maybe I'll stop cringing every time I see myself frozen in time. Maybe I'll start seeing myself the way a director sees an actor, as someone with depth, with complexity, with something worth capturing. So here's my vision. I'm calling it Midnight Snack. You know that feeling when you wake up at 2 a.m. and shuffle to the kitchen, half asleep, slightly disoriented, searching for something? That dreamy state where you're not quite awake, but not quite asleep either. That's exactly the mood I want to capture. But here's the thing. I can't just wing this and hope for the best. If I want to turn the hazy vision in my head into an actual cinematic photo, I need to do my homework. So I made a mood board on Cosmos, hunting down late night photography scenes. Soft light and that signature fridge glow. I'm going full commitment with this Victorian-inspired night dress I found, because honestly, why not romanticize something deeply ordinary and make it feel like a scene from a period drama? Old world meets new world meets my kitchen at 2 p.m. pretending it's 2 a.m. My gear setup is pretty straightforward. Mirrorless camera, trusty tripod, and the real MVP, my Nanlite Pico pocket light. This thing is going to give me that soft ethereal glow that makes everything look like it's straight out of a movie. Just that dreamy cinematic quality I'm obsessing over. And this is where ideas meet reality. And reality, she's not cooperating. Every time I set up the shot, I second guess everything. Facial expression, pose, angle. All of a sudden, I'm aware of every single muscle in my face. Am I squinting? Why does my mouth look like that? The timer goes off. I rush into position like I'm dismantling a bomb. I check the back of the camera and nope, delete, reset the timer, rush back. Still terrible, delete. It's like my face forgets how to be a face the moment a photo is involved. Something so many of us experience but rarely talk about. Now, I'm just a deer in the headlights wearing a Victorian night dress, which is definitely not the aesthetic I'm going for. The worst part, I know what I want the photos to look like. I can see it perfectly in my head. But translating that vision into reality when you're simultaneously the director, the cinematographer, and the very reluctant star, that's where things get complicated. After about the 20th delete and retry cycle, I just stopped. Not because I got the perfect shot, but because I was exhausted. My shoulders were tense, my face hurt from trying to force expressions. I just sat there, staring into space, still in frame, camera still rolling its 10-second countdown, and for the first time all day, I wasn't performing for it. I stopped trying to make it look a specific way and just let myself be in the environment. Maybe that's what we're all searching for. Permission to stop performing and just exist. Instead of forcing my face into what I thought a good photo face should be, I just existed in the space. I let the imperfections stay, the slightly messy hair, the natural, unguarded expression. And then, one frame stopped me. It wasn't flawless, but it felt like a still from a scene I wanted to watch, an organic moment and not a manufactured one. It had something about it that all my perfectly posed attempts had been missing. It was still me being photographed, which I still hated, but it didn't feel like I was fighting myself to get there. When I finally looked through all the photos later, I realized something had happened that I didn't expect. I'd stopped deleting everything immediately. I still don't love every photo I took, but I stopped seeing them as proof of my flaws. Instead, I saw a person, moody, soft, complex. A character with a story, someone who looked contemplated in one shot and slightly amused in another. I didn't want to delete the frames, I wanted to remember it. Maybe that's what self-portraiture is all about, and what we all need more of. Learning to see ourselves clearly and not flinch. It's about recognizing that the person in the photo is the same person who can be on video for hours, who has thoughts and feelings and stories worth documenting, that's uniquely and wonderfully made. I'm still not going to volunteer for group photos anytime soon, but I think I've made peace with the fact that I exist in the world. And sometimes that existence is worth capturing. Wrinkled night dress and all.